Hi, Carson. It's Andrew in Australia. How are you going?
Good. How are you doing?
Fantastic. Alrighty, let's get into it. So I'll start with the question everyone's going to probably ask. Have you seen the new trailer? What's your thoughts on it?
I did see the new trailer right when it came out, actually, and I think it looks amazing. I'm one of those guys that, like, I'm kind of old enough now to not be, I went through a phase where I was very just kind of like, arrogant about, the new sequels that would come out and, this isn't, this is wrong and that's wrong. But now I feel like I'm at a spot in my life where I just can appreciate it and get excited about it, I really think that the trailer looks awesome. I think it opens up a lot of interesting questions, and I'm super excited to see it.
Awesome. And now moving from there into the music side of things, before this, like you've done, and you still do production. So what made you decide to form Galactic Empire?
Well, my partner, my production partner, Grant McFarland, and I started the band. He plays drums, and it actually began because he, a couple years ago, decided to do a drum arrangement along to the original score, the Imperial March from the original score. And he just kind of put together this interesting kind of triply drum arrangement and filmed it and put it on YouTube. And that was that. And then I think about a year went by, and we were kind of bored one day, and he thought it would be interesting to open that up and just track, all the rest of what the orchestra was doing, but on guitar, and make it sound like it was metal. And then once we did that, we went and we did the same thing with the main theme, and then from there we just kept, chipping away at different themes from the movies, because we thought, oh, well, there's that, we got to do that, and there's the Force theme, so we have to do that. And it just kind of snowballed until we had an entire album finished and recorded, kind of on, our downtime. And then from there, we just thought it would be hilarious to make a music video and dress up. And then eventually we, started playing for real. So it just kind of snowballed into this really bizarre thing.
So with those tracks from the movie, of course, they're very multi-layered, lots of textures. How do you decide what you're going to isolate to try to translate into the guitar parts and bass parts?
Well, Grant does most of the arrangement, and the process is kind of, we stuck very close to pretty much as close as we possibly could to the original orchestral score. And the way that we kind of figured out what to play and how to play it is we would just kind of go part by part and even bar by bar and listen to a section on loop and figure out, its tempo or its average tempo, and then what's going on in the different sections of the orchestra in the different octaves, and pick that out. And like, okay, there's this melody playing in this octave, and it's doubled, twice, and then, in an octave below and above, and then, this section of the orchestra is playing this bass part, so that can be like rhythm guitar. And we just kind of like delegated, different octave ranges of melodies going on to different things. So the higher melodies would be lead guitars, lower ones would be bass and rhythm guitar. The drum parts then were arranged depending on how those came out. Typically, Grant would kind of go through. He's one of these kids that has perfect pitch, so he can pick out like all the notes in the orchestra, and he'll just loop a section and listen to it and write out in MIDI what notes are what, and then we'll from there transcribe it to guitar. And like I said, the goal is to stay as close as possible to the orchestral score, so everything is represented in some way.
And what was the hardest track to transpose, I guess you would say, into doing it into metal?
Man, I would say on our second album, there's a track called Scherzo for X-Wings, and I believe it's one of the newer songs from one of the newer movies. Mm-hmm. And it's very short. It's like 2 minutes long, but it's just kind of really bonkers all over the place, technical nightmare of a song. And it's just like there's no repeating part. It's just a linear string of weirdo stuff for 2 minutes straight. And that was probably the most complicated one, just because of all the stuff going on at one time. It's a really, I think it's a X-Wing, it's action music, background action music for like an X-Wing chase scene. So, sure. Yeah, it's kind of all over the place technically, musically, and that was a big challenge.
And you're heading our way soon. Have any of the members been to Australia before that you know of?
Actually, yes. Grant and I were in Australia once before a couple of years back. We weren't playing, but we were actually producing a band there for a month. So we got to spend a month in Mollymook, and then, about 3 weeks there, and then we in a rented house, and we recorded a band there. The band was called Polaris.
I know Polaris, yeah.
And, yeah, they're a great band. And then we spent the last week in Sydney recording drums in the studio there with them. That was a great experience. We got to see a little bit. We were mostly working, but we got to see a lot of cool stuff. We got to spend some time in Sydney and hang out, and yeah, we loved it, and we can't wait to get back and actually play.
Perfect. And who makes your costumes for you?
The costumes I actually made, and my mom likes to sew, and so she did all the sewing for like the soft pieces, and then I did all of the like the armor building and the helmets. It's all just like kind of foam, like craft foam. Yeah, it was kind of a whole process. We got an artist from the UK named James Hayball to kind of make our own unique designs of the characters, and then from there he would send us really detailed drawings that he would come up with when we were happy with the design of the helmet, for instance. And then I sent the drawings that he gave me to a 3D artist who rendered them in 3D, and then I sent the 3D to another guy who was able to put the 3D model in a format that could be like taken apart and flattened, so it almost became like a sewing pattern. Sure. And then from there, I would cut those pieces out from foam and then put them back into like the 3D. So that's kind of like the whole process of beginning to end, creative to finished product.
And how does that go with the heat on stage with lights sometimes?
Oh, it sucks. I mean, the heat is the worst part about it. I mean, one way or the other, we're drenched in sweat by the time we're done because it's just so hot. I think I get the hottest in my costume because I have the most like solid armor pieces. But it's not. I mean, it's definitely uncomfortable and a challenge to play in.
And do you see yourself having new characters down the line?
Yeah, I think that would be a cool thing to do. We actually, at the first iteration of the band, we had a shadow trooper who is one of our guitar players, and we made a music video where he got killed by Kylo Ren, and then Kylo Ren took over his position in the band, and now ever since it's been Kylo Ren in the band. But same guy, obviously, CJ. He just kind of changed his character. So, we thought it would be funny, kind of maybe to once in a while change characters like that. Maybe, do something in a music video where one of the characters dies and we have to replace him. That sort of thing.
Perfect. Have you heard any feedback about the stuff from Lucas or Star Wars people, like cast or anyone like that yet?
Well, nothing officially from Lucasfilm, but we do know several people who work for Lucasfilm who have, privately expressed that they like what we're doing. And that's really cool, to know that there are fans of what we do, just on a kind of fun personal level at Lucasfilm. But it's one of those things. I think at one point one of the cast members retweeted something of ours. I forget who it was though.
And
it might have been Peter Mayhew. I'm not sure.
Okay, cool. And on a personal level, what are you listening to at the moment?
What am I listening to? I actually, I am listening to Walt Grant, and I just finished recording the new August Burns Red record, and I've been listening to that kind of on repeat because I'm working on the mix. So the last 2 weeks, I would say it's just been that because I'm trying to get it right. And it's a great album. I can't wait for it to come out. But yeah, that's kind of just been taking over my life for the last couple of weeks. Yeah, they're incredibly tight musicians. They play. They're so easy to record. It's like effortless because they're so good.
Perfect. And to finish up today, any final words for the fans ahead of the tour down here?
Just that we are, beyond excited to get to come down there and play and do this and have this experience. And, we're really thankful for, everyone who's responsible for having us there. And, I personally can't wait to kind of be able to see a little bit more of Australia because I know we have a good number of off days between shows here and there. So we'll be able to do some sightseeing and check it out. And, please come to the show, bring kids, if possible, if the age permits. And it's a fun time. And if you're a fan of Star Wars and heavy metal, I think it's something that you will get a kick out of.
Perfect, Carson. We'll leave it at that for today. And hopefully I get to see you when you're down here. And good luck with the tour and the music and everything that you got going on.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
Thanks, man. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too, man.
All right. Bye.
Take care.